Hello and welcome to another Let's Play brought to you by Podcast 17 and Planet Phillip. Today we are playing Interloper, this penultimate chapter in the Half-Life series. For those who don't know, penultimate means second last, so that's a new word you can add to your gaming vocabulary. Interloper is really the Zen-themed chapter of Half-Life 1. I mean, there is a Zen chapter, but it's really just one map. It's kind of boring, but this one is full-on awesome. There's not much to say about the chapter itself, except that it's, in my opinion, very underrated. Because since it being one of the final chapters of Half-Life, it's usually not revisited. And, I mean, that's not the fault of the chapter, that's just the fault of where it lies in the Half-Life series. And even myself, I find it unfamiliar in some places, because I don't tend to replay it a lot. So if I miss anything, apologies. But what I do want to talk about, and something that actually let's clear up these alien slaves, because you can see there's one charging at me right now because it's a bad save spot. We'll clear it up, get in a safe zone, and then we'll talk about a couple things. So we'll just clear up these alien slaves real quick, and you'll notice that there are some controllers now. Controllers play a primary part in the Interloper chapter. Because what they do is they actually command... Oh, I fell into a little pit. Well, you get to see what this does. Whee! Okay, this is gonna hurt. Oh, I'm gonna save further on in the game. Okay, let's not fall into one of those pits. We'll quickly get into a little safe area, which is just up here. What I was saying about the controllers, they play an important role because what they do is they actually literally control the slaves. In the Interloper chapter, oh my god, it's really hard to say for some reason. In this chapter, the alien slaves are mostly passive, unless there's a controller around. Which you'll see once we get to the alien grunt factory. But yeah, they're mostly passive unless you attack a controller or a controller sees you, or unless you've obviously attacked a slave. Also, what I wanted to mention in this part of the map, you see these little these rays, the alien attack craft. Now, if you remember, I think it was surface tension, we saw the ones with two tails. The two tails are the transports. The one tails, like that guy right there, are the attack craft, and that beam will insta-kill you. That's why you gotta be careful. There's a transport, just dropped off those alien slaves. So this map is extremely dynamic, and in fact, most of the maps in this chapter are dynamic, in that, you know, the onslaught seems to never end. So, the area we're in right now is completely optional. You don't need to visit it, but it's a good idea because you don't get a lot of ammo in Interloper, and it's good to have ammo for when you actually get to the Nihilith, which is the final boss of the game. So we'll make our way through these underground caverns, which are really neat looking. I mean, some of the areas in Interloper are just so organic, which is what I really like about it. And there's a lot of attention to detail, like for example, like this right here. A scientist, sort of last straw, huddles up into a corner and dies nearby the closest light source. Something very, very well done. So those things right there are what supply you with ammo. They mostly contain energy or uranium for your Egon gun and your Gauss gun. Or sorry, your Egon gun and Gauss gun. They also contain a lot of revolver stuff, so you'll see me using the revolver a lot, and they also contain a lot of bolts. So you notice we just took this down, which basically allows you to skyrocket yourself up to the top of the map. I'm just going to save real quick, because I end up killing myself a lot on this part of the chapter. Like that. That was probably a stupid move. You got these controllers who are just really messing your day up. Where'd that go? So our goal here is to get onto that top platform. When we do that, again, we didn't have to go all the way. That hurt. we didn't have to go all the way down to do that. It's actually easier if you don't take this way, but... Get on this little platform. Don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me. Oh, my ride's here. So you jump on one of these manta rays. Oh my god. Hello. Well, now you get to see how to get there from above. And I'm gonna go get some health at the healing pool. The healing pools are a great place to reload. Because you're just standing here. So reload all your weapons. I feel so sorry for the Vortigons. I mean, really, it's not their fault. They're being controlled, but hey, if you're gonna attack me, I gotta defend myself, right? That's what anybody would do. Alright, I think we're good to go. So really, you can just go up here, if I remember. Or maybe not. No, maybe you have to. Maybe I can make that jump. No. Remember, I got the long jump, but I don't think it'll help me much there. I'll go in one of these holes. Don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me. This is gonna hurt. Yeah, definitely gonna hurt. I hit the top of the map. Oh god. I did save up here. That's right. You get to see me fail a lot at Interloper because, I mean, it's not easy. Got a lot of things happening all at once. We're gonna jump on this one next. We're gonna jump on that one next, as long as no controllers come. Where is he? Okay, which one's next? That one, probably. Oh, fuck. Alright, here we go again. Okay, now we're gonna save. I hate how useless the Hornet gun is. This is so stupid. Jump on this one next. Great. Where are you? This one next. Alright, now we're gonna save. We'll get on this one next. And then this one. And this. Alright, now we gotta wait for the thing to come back. Collect some of these slaves while we're at it. There he is. Hello. Alright. We're just gonna be careful. So this this ray pretty much goes all the way up alongside the teleporter here. So we'll be able to get nice and close. But you can't wait too long or else it'll disappear and then you're shit out of luck. It sort of disappears at your feet. So I usually don't wait for it to get too close, but that's good. Alright. Finally. God, that was painful. Okay, so now I can talk about I don't know if you can hear it. You probably can't hear it, unfortunately. But the Nihilith talks to you throughout, I mean, pretty much the final chapters of Half-Life 1. And I want to talk about some of those phrases that he's already said and the phrase that he just said. Because the Nihilith really gives you a look into some of the secrets of Half-Life. There are two main mysterious characters in the entire Half-Life series. There's the G-Man, obviously. But there's also the Nihilith, who seems to know a lot about the circumstances that are unfolding. That being the Combine takeover to the Nihilith homeworld, the origins of the G-Man, and what's going to happen in the future. So the first thing he ever says to you is when you enter Zen in the chapter Zen. And that's when he says, "Comes another," referring to, Gordon Freeman entering the world of Zen, just like this guy did, and all the other scientists. The next line he says is, "Win, you cannot win." That's when you enter Gonarch's lair, saying that you can't defeat the Gonarch. But a lot of people also say that it might also foreshadow Gordon's ability to never really leave the G-Man's side, showing that he'll always be in the G-Man's service. Done, what have you done, is as you're entering the Interloper chapter, and it refers to, when you defeat the Gonarch, and thereby alluding to sort of the Gonarchs being the source of all the head crabs, so thereby you've sort of depleted the use of the head crab, or you can no longer, they can no longer use the head crabs in Zen, but you see them in Half-Life 2 anyway, but those could also be engineered by the Combine. What's the next one? "You are man, he is not man, for he waits for you." That's when we enter the second part of Interloper. That's right now, actually. It's kind of a longer phrase, and it most likely refers to the G-Man, implying that the G-Man is not human, which is an interesting development because a lot of people think that he is human. A lot of people don't like think that he's. Some people even think that he's Gordon's dad, which is just crazy. But anyway, it's really interesting that the Nihilith doesn't think that he is not a man. Anyway, there's going to be more Nihilith phrases, which I will, from here on in, point out. We're going to get another one. I think it's the third Interloper map, so we'll talk about it there. This is sort of the alien camp chapter. And another familiar sight. And there's just Gibbs sort of pouring out of that chamber behind him. So you can see all the tentacles here, just sort of going nuts. And these grunts looking the wrong way. And if you look in the distance, you can see the aliens interacting with what's called the Zen Thumpers. Not much is really known. Hello. Fortune link to that guy. Not much is really known about the Zen Thumpers. They have a likeness to what are they called? The repellers, I think is what they're called in Half-Life 2. The repellers being the sort of thumping devices that repel the antlions. So it's thought or believed that the Combine sort of re-implemented this technology on Earth to repel the antlions. But there is sort of a connection between the Thumpers and the Vortigaunts, because you just saw them sort of controlling them there. But again, not much is really known what they do. Maybe there's some sort of energy transport device, or I don't know. I'm not good at predicting things, so I'm not even gonna try. So you can see there's a pretty good camp here, and it gives you lots of ammo and lots of goodies, so you don't want to miss that area on your playthrough. Again, these controllers are the ones that were... There's another one behind me. That were controlling the alien slaves. We're just going to ignore them. I'm not going to waste my ammo on controllers. If we jump up here, I'm going to follow this little cavern. We make it into another healing pool. Don't really need it, but it is a nice looking area. continue. This is sort of where the pit was, where the tentacle is. We'll just go back. Okay, so in a second we're gonna meet up with a gargantuan. This guy. Hello. Oh god. We can kill him, which I will do, just for shits and giggles. Oh god, don't kill me. Oh yeah, he's running that way. Just a couple more rockets. Maybe one more. There we go. And there's a nice little hideout up here, which a lot of people miss. Another last-ditch attempt there. You get some more rockets. So if you don't decide to kill the gargantuan, there is a hidey hole here, which allows you to sort of wait it out. He'll run by, and then you can sort of rush this area. If you want. Oh shit! Oh, that was close. And once you get here, let's go off. You're greeted by two tentacles. And if you remember, tentacles are distracted by sound. Maybe not that. Oh yeah, that got them. Cool. And there's some grenades down here, just in case you forgot. Climb back up to the second floor here. There we go. Another tentacle. Alrighty. Oh, should have reloaded. This is a cool little area before we actually enter the alien grunt facility. Okay, so this is, actually we skipped a line. The line that was just spoken was alone, aren't you alone, aren't you alone? Meaning that Gordon, is he's trying to sort of deter you, pointing out the fact that you are alone. There's nobody left. There's no scientists left here. So why do you keep trying? And the line before that was die, you all die, you all die. Just sort of talking about either Gordon himself, all the scientists, or humanity as a whole, sort of foreshadowing that the Combine are coming to take over Earth, and just like they did with his own homeworld. So out of some sort of anger there. Okay, so this is the alien grunt factory. Again, I don't have to kill these slaves. I just did, just out of habit, because they're gonna get hostile anyway. But they were just sort of minding their own business. I came here and killed them. But the slaves would have triggered them anyways. Or sorry, the controllers would have triggered them anyway. We'll just clean them up. Again, the revolver is the best weapon in this whole... for this map series. Alright, so this is, like I said, the Alien Grunt Factory. Again, not much to say other than what you see. Picture's worth 1,000 words in that sense. Get out of the way! But these things hold alien grunts. At least, maybe not this one. Maybe the one up there. Hello? Well, some of them do. I thought they all did, actually. But let's try blowing one up. Nope. Alright, not that one. You'll see it later. I'm sure you will. You can actually go the whole chapter without breaking any of these. There's actually a part where they try to force you to break it, but you can just jump over it. I'll show you that in a sec. But you got these elevators, which sort of take you up further into the facility. The idea being that you want to go up. And instead of health pools for the third part of Interloper, we have these health stations, healing showers. That's what they call them. They call them healing showers. And they do the same thing, basically. Alrighty. Go on this conveyor belt. Feel like you're back on residue processing. Zen version. Right. So this pool isn't actually a healing pool. A lot of people stand in there waiting to be healed, but it actually hurts you. There we go. This one works. These ones work. Okay, so as you can see, they're pretty much full-grown alien grunts, which leads people to believe that it's not actually like an egg or anything, it's just sort of a transportation method. So again, we'll clean up the area. Use this shower. Now there is a sequence in Interlopers where we sort of missed it because I killed off the alien slave, but an alien slave will run into the shower and disappear. Almost like he's using it as a transportation method. I always found that really cool. That a lot of people fail to mention. Oh my god, I didn't even see you. Reload. Are you guys hostile? Yep. See, it's not even worth determining whether or not they're hostile or not, because by the time you find it out, it's just too late. I could have killed all three of them. Most of the time, it's too late. Ow. I'm sorry, I don't mean to kill you. Little elevator here. We're gonna start using our shotgun. So let's go visit that area. I think there might have been some ammo or something down here. Oh no, this is just a back entrance for the where we just were. I'm not gonna bother breaking the container. Try to use the shotgun whenever I can, especially in these close quarter chambers, because the revolver is much better suited for later on. So this is the bit that I was talking about where you, where they sort of force you to break these things, but you don't really need to. You can just climb over them and drop on down. Doesn't give you much room to retreat, but if you're quick enough, you can get these guys. Uh-oh. Reload. Oh, you fuckers. Ammo. Oh, I got rockets in that one. Get some health briefly. and down into the Zen version of vents. I hate this drop. Because you're just basically thrown into a mountain of shit. Oh, jeez. Okay, so our goal in this bit is to reach that portal. We'll take a slight detour, and then that's pretty much the end of Interloper. I'm almost out of revolver ammo. Yeah, not good. Okay, so we'll go up this one. I hate these things. They're sick. Okay, got one more bullet. Who's gonna be the lucky one? You. Finish you up here. Oh, there's more guy there. Ow! So this is the detour I was talking about, completely optional area, but if you head behind here, you'll make it into the spiral sections of Zen. Another eerie scream. Start going down first. Oh, geez. Where is he? Roll. Oh, he's gonna try to run up here with me, are you? I don't think so. And you'll notice that I call the Vortigaunt slaves. Well, mainly because they are slaves, but I get really upset when people call them Vortigaunts in Half-Life 1. I mean, they are Vortigaunts, yes. But when you say Vortigaunts, you should really be referring to the Vortigaunts in Half-Life 2. These are slaves. Not Vortigaunts. I just wanted to rant a little. So this other chamber leads you back to the second one, if you remember. There was two we could have gone through. We went through the left one. Lots of screaming. Which, actually, a YouTube commenter pointed out that they also use the scream in Left 4 Dead. The Left 4 Dead screams is a variation of that. So that's kind of cool. So really, this whole spiral room doesn't have that much of a payoff, especially if you already have pretty good health. But I figured I'd show it to you anyway. We're just going to ignore these controllers as best we can. Head on down. Oh, okay. I might have to kill that one. Nope. Oh, I got hit once. Alright. So we're back in this area. This elevator is the pain in the ass elevator, because it waits for no man. Not even the free man. You'll see how quick it goes back up. See? You gotta basically jump into it before it even stops. Behind here is another healing shower. And since now we're up here, it probably spawned more controllers. Of course it did. And I can't hit shit with this thing, so... There we go. Ow. Alright, so last elevator. This one's a little bit more forgiving. Okay, so that is the final voiceover of Interloper, and he said, "The last, I am the last." And basically, what it means is, or what everybody interprets it to mean, is that the Nihilith is the last of his kind. And now, instead of him leaning towards anger or I guess him leaning towards repulsion or trying to get you to steer away from your course through fear, now he's trying to make you feel pity for him, saying again that he is the last and the only one left, so he should take pity on the Nihilith because the Combine won't really take pity on you. So really, Half-Life is just a precursor to all things that happen in Half-Life 2. Which is kind of amazing if you think about it. The amount of thought and effort that went involved into making Half-Life, and the amount of story that is actually involved. And even now, more than 10 years later, almost 14 years later, we're still developing on that story and learning more. So, I mean, it's just a fantastic ride this whole way through. So, we're going to end this Let's Play here. This is the end of Interloper, basically. I know the new chapter hasn't come up, because the next chapter is Nihilith, and I'm going to want to say some stuff before we actually go inside the portal. So, tune in next time for the final chapter of Half-Life. It's going to be exciting, and I'll see you guys then. Bye.